On a cold December night in the year 1900, 3 men stationed at the Flannan Isles Lighthouse mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only cryptic clues and a legacy of unanswered questions. The Flannan Isles, a desolate group of small islands off the northwest coast of Scotland, were home to the Lighthouse, a vital beacon for ships navigating the dangerous waters of the North Atlantic. The keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald Mcarthur, were seasoned and trusted men, tasked with keeping the light burning to guide vessels safely through these treacherous seas. But on the night of December 15, 1900, something unexplainable happened. Something that still chills investigators to this day. Before we dive into this gripping mystery, if you're a fan of real-life mysteries like this one, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future stories that leave you questioning what's really out there. Now let's get back to the story. The story begins when a supply ship, the Hesperus, arrived at the Flannan Isles on December 26, 1900, to deliver provisions and rotate one of the keepers back to the mainland. But as the ship approached the island, there were immediate signs that something was wrong. No one came out to greet the ship, no flags were raised, and the lighthouse, which should have been lit, stood eerily dark. Captain Harvey of the Hesperus ordered a search party to investigate. When the crew landed, they found the lighthouse in a ghostly state. The front door was unlocked, the beds were unmade, and there was no fire in the hearth. A disturbing sense of abandonment filled the air. On the table, a meal had been set but remained uneaten. It was as if the keepers had been interrupted in the middle of dinner and left in a hurry, never to return. Most troubling of all, the clocks inside the lighthouse had stopped, as if time itself had frozen in the wake of their disappearance. An immediate search of the island revealed no trace of the men. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of foul play. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air. But what really captured investigators' attention was the logbook. Written by Thomas Marshall, the entries in the days leading up to their disappearance painted a strange and unsettling picture. In an entry dated December 12th, Marshall reported a severe storm, the likes of which I've never seen in 20 years. According to him, the winds were howling, and the waves were crashing violently against the cliffs, rising higher than usual. He also noted that James Ducat had grown unusually quiet, and Donald Mcarthur, the most robust and resilient of the three, had been crying. But here's the strange part. No other ships or coastal stations in the region had reported any storms on December 12th. The following day, Marshall's log entries became even more bizarre. He wrote that the storm had continued unabated, and that the men had all been praying for deliverance. Something incredibly odd for lighthouse keepers who were known for their calm and stoic nature in the face of bad weather. Yet despite the storm, nothing outside the island appeared unusual. Then on December 15th, the final log entry appeared, written in a hauntingly calm manner. Storm ended. Sea calm. God is over all. After this final note, the keepers were never seen or heard from again. When investigators from the Northern Lighthouse Board arrived, they were baffled. Their initial assumption was that a rogue wave, an enormous, unpredictable wave, had swept the men out to sea while they were trying to secure supplies or check the damage to the lighthouse. But this theory didn't quite add up. The logbook detailed strange weather conditions that did not match the reports from surrounding areas, and the island was situated nearly 200 feet above sea level. A wave that size would be unprecedented. Further investigation found that 2 sets of oilskins, heavy-duty waterproof clothing the men would have worn outside, were missing, suggesting that 2 of the men had ventured out during the storm, while the third stayed inside. But why would experienced lighthouse keepers, who knew the risks of such dangerous weather, risk going outside together in those conditions? A more peculiar discovery involved the lighthouse's landing platform, where equipment used for docking boats had been damaged. Yet the damage seemed more consistent with manual interference rather than a natural disaster. It raised more questions than answers. What were the men trying to do? Were they trying to repair the landing platform during the storm, or were they trying to escape something? The eerie nature of the disappearance sparked wild theories. Some believed the men had fallen victim to foul play. The isolation of the Flannan Isles made it a potential target for piracy, and the keepers could have been overpowered and abducted by a crew of sailors. Yet no evidence of piracy or a struggle was ever found. Then there were the more supernatural explanations. Some locals believed the men had been taken by sea spirits, or lured away by the mythical Blue Men of the Minch, a Scottish legend of strange creatures said to haunt the waters between the Flannan Isles and the mainland. These blue-skinned beings were believed to drag sailors to their doom, and some thought they could be responsible for the disappearance of the lighthouse keepers. Other theories suggested that the isolation and the psychological effects of being stationed on the remote island might have driven the men to madness. It wouldn't be the first time lighthouse keepers had succumbed to the crushing solitude of their duties. Could one of the keepers have turned on the others in a fit of insanity, leading to a tragic outcome? Over the years, many more investigations have taken place, but none have provided conclusive answers. Despite multiple visits from maritime experts, historians, and even paranormal investigators, the truth behind the disappearance remains elusive. Modern theories suggest that the men may have left the lighthouse to secure equipment in the storm and were caught off guard by a sudden tidal surge. But even this theory struggles to account for the eerie details in the logbook and the fact that no storm was reported in the surrounding areas. To this day, the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. The lighthouse still stands, a silent sentinel over the desolate island, and the fate of the three keepers continues to haunt those who visit. Were they taken by the sea? Did something darker and more mysterious claim their lives? Or is the truth hidden in the depths of the ocean, waiting to be uncovered? Whatever the answer, the story of the Flannan Isles keepers is a stark reminder of the dangers of isolation and the power of the sea. And it leaves us with one lingering question. What really happened on that lonely island over 120 years ago? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life mysteries and strange disappearances just like this one.